What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be the first true episode training vlog in my 250 marathon series leading up to the Philly Marathon. Currently, it's August 28th. I'm still about 12 and a half weeks out from the Philly Marathon, and I haven't been doing as good of a job with documenting my base build as I would normally want to. But despite the fact that I haven't been filming, I think I've been executing the running side of things as best as I possibly can, because I think the past 5.5 weeks have been the best 5.5 weeks of training that I've ever had in my entire life. But like I said, right now I'm still 12.5 weeks out, but my goal at the end of this week, as you may have seen in the title of the video, is running the most miles I've ever ran in a week in my entire life. Now, I know some people are going to hear that and think that, oh, he's already pushing himself too hard, he's going to overtrain, he's going to get hurt, he's going to burn out, he's going to peak too early. You know, I've thought about those things as well, but the way I've structured this base build, I think I've done it in a way to where I will be achieving my peak fitness on race day, even though right now is the fittest I've ever felt in my entire life. So I'm going to keep discussing my approach to training so far in this base build in the rest of this video, but for right now, I gotta go get my miles in. 10 miles, hour and a half. I'll see you guys when I get back. My legs tonight were pretty torched, and I think it's not because of the workout that I did yesterday. I think it was the gym session that I did in the afternoon after my workout in the morning. Hopefully with some good rest tonight, hopefully I'll be good to go tomorrow for my first true double threshold session. Before I get into the double threshold that I have planned for tomorrow, my structure that I've really been following for the first 6 weeks of this block has been a Wednesday speed focused workout, really keeping it anywhere in the range of like 200 meter repeats all the way up to like 1K repeats at 5K, mile pace, 2 mile pace, maybe some 10K pace stuff, because again, I am running a 10K here in a few weeks time. And also to supplement that speed work, I've been doing strides at the ends of 2 of my easy runs. So I'll do sometimes 10 by 100 meter strides, but I really try to focus on getting 2,000 meters of strides in every single week. So that's really how I've been approaching my top end speed for this block. And then to supplement that, I have been doing a threshold session on a Friday. I've kind of varied how I've approached my threshold workouts for the past 6 weeks, just to kind of get a feel for what I'm liking, how my body's feeling. And the ultimate goal now is to start incorporating double threshold. So tomorrow is going to be some good volume. 16 miles of total volume is what I want to accomplish. That's a big training day, so I'm making sure I'm carved up tonight and topping up on my glycogen stores all day tomorrow, and making sure I'm getting my recovery in as well, because I actually have a big weekend ahead of me too. I'm going to Orlando with my girlfriend, and I'm going to get a Sunday long run in somewhere in Orlando. I've got to figure it out, but I think I already have an area and long run route planned. So I'm excited to share this weekend with you guys. It's going to be my highest mileage week of my entire life, and I'm glad I get to share it with you guys. I will see you in the morning for my double T day. One of the greatest feelings is waking up on a Friday morning and realizing that you do not have to go into work this morning. That's what we're on today. Took Friday off of work to hit the double threshold session. But like I said before, I haven't really been filming as much as I would have liked to in the beginning of this block, and that honestly has a lot to do with my studies for the professional surveyor and mapper exam. It's basically like professional engineer exam, but for surveyors. If I have any engineers that follow me, they're probably going to say that that's absolutely blasphemous, but that's the best thing I can compare it to. But, you know, balancing that, training as much as I have, filming, it can kind of be a lot. So I wanted to really focus and spend the past like 6 weeks really studying up, because my test is at the end of September. It's currently the end of August, so I don't really have too much time left. But yeah, that's kind of just like a peek into what I've got going on. So I don't think I said it last night, but as of this morning, as of last night, we are up to 36.3 miles this week. Figured if I'm gonna track my mileage in my highest mileage week, might as well have it like on screen here. And this morning we are doing 5 by 6 minute intervals around like LT1. And I've said this before, I don't have a lactate reader, so my threshold workouts aren't to the T exact, but I have a pretty good idea of what those threshold sort of paces and feelings feel like for me. So I'm going to really just be going off of feel for the most part. I feel like I've done a good job of that in the past. This morning is going to be, again, a lighter session. I guess a good way to think about it is for your heart rate. For me, it's probably in that 160, 165, maybe high 160s range for these like LT1 reps at 6 minute intervals. So again, the goal this morning, push myself a little bit, but not to the point where those reps are getting really difficult. Saving that effort for my later session today in 20 by 400. I'm gonna go down to the treadmill here in a second, and I will see you guys on the tread. That session went pretty well. I'm not mad at it. Again, those LT1 sessions can be tough to completely like either negative split or just like even split for me. Every time that I've done it so far, I feel like I go out a little bit too quick in the beginning, and then I positive split basically on the back end because I know that my effort isn't going to be in the right place if I continue to hold that pace that I set out at. But I honestly like that sometimes because it gets my heart rate up and it gets my effort level up to the level where I want to be at a little bit quicker. I started out at a 6:35 per mile pace for the first rep. Immediately kind of realized that if I was to sustain that, I was probably going to have to push a little bit too hard. So I pulled it back, 640 for the next two, 645 for the fourth, and then I bumped it all the way down to a 649 or like a 650 basically per mile for my final rep. So yeah, I'm not mad at that. Good work done. 8 miles on the books, and we're at 44.3 miles now for the week. I'm gonna refuel here, protein, collagen, oats, and an apple, and some coffee so that I am not a total slouch and a total slug for this entire afternoon. I'm gonna get some video editing done and hit the books and do some note taking and studying as well. Still pretty warm out here. I think it's like 87 degrees right now, something like 80% humidity. I'm about to start sweating just standing here. But regardless, we're getting this one done. PM session. I'm rocking the Adios Pro 4s. Got the Soar hat on, thrifted shades. You already know. Taking the Satisfy shirt off. I just wore it to look kind of cool. I actually have Arc'teryx running shorts on, so I'm in the full Hype Beast running outfit right now. But you gotta look good to run good sometimes. So we'll see what we can do for these 400s on 30 seconds rest. It's gonna be sort of the opposite approach that I took to my first workout. So I'm probably gonna wanna work into that like LT2 harder effort and not go balls to the wall right here at the beginning. It's been a wasp, like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. All right, come on now. Bro, I just want to drink. This is ruining my entire rest, dude. If y'all don't see this wasp, I don't fuck with wasps. Bro, it was 610 and 606 per mile for my last 2 sets, bro. All right, I gotta go. This is crazy. Is that wasp gone? I think he's gone. Fourth set, 6:03 average pace. I was about to say I might call it here at 16 because I don't really want to do too much. Again, we're still 12 and a half weeks out. Can't really be pushing myself too hard. But I think I got 4 more in me for sure at a good effort. Not go too crazy. Let's go.
Closed out that last lap at 5:51 average pace. Easily my fastest. Went out what I thought was too quick and basically just negative split the rest. I definitely turned it up past probably my lactate threshold on my last couple 400s there. Tried to push the pace a little bit. I was pushing it, but it felt good. I'm really happy with that, to be honest. After 16, I wanted to give up. I'm not even gonna lie, my quads and just my legs overall were feeling pretty dead. But I feel like that just goes to show you, don't listen to your mind. Just don't listen to yourself when your mind is telling you that you're tired. Your mind's telling you to quit. Just tell it to shut up. Just do 4 more 400s, get that last mile in. And now I'm going to go treat myself and pick up dinner for myself and my girlfriend from a Michelin star rated restaurant that I've been wanting to try. See that? Michelin star. I don't know if I've ever heard of a sandwich shop being Michelin star rated. I'm not just a guy who posts videos about his marathon training on YouTube. We are going to try these sandwiches and rate them 1 through 10. All right, here we go. We've got a chicken cutlet with pesto. We've got Simba here. We have a chicken Caesar wrap and also a meatball. We also have a meatball sub. The chicken Caesar wrap is Haley's. I'm eating both of these sandwiches to the face. The world's biggest orange. That place was the biggest letdown I've ever seen. There was literally a Disney store in disguise. What did you think of the orange store?
I'm sad. I thought I was gonna get fresh orange.
There was literally one aisle of orange stuff, and it advertises the biggest orange store in the world. The biggest orange. It's such a letdown. Alright, so that was a 2.2 miles earlier. Not even doing that for any sort of aerobic benefit. That is just for me to keep my body moving, because I feel like for me personally, when I'm clicking, when everything's clicking for me, it's really just best for me to get a recovery run in on a day where I could just take it off. But 2.2 miles, my shortest runs right now are like really 8 miles. So 2.2 miles is essentially a recovery day. I'm actually really happy about how I'm feeling based on, again, the mileage that I'm putting up this week. The cumulative mileage of the past 6 weeks, my body seems to be handling it pretty well, and I'm honestly stoked about that. Super stoked, because it's something that was a little bit of a risk for me going into, taking on this higher mileage, even starting out the block this way. So tomorrow morning, 17 miles. I'm not going to do a big workout. Again, this is going to be one of my last sort of easy long runs, just to kind of supplement the rest of my week, have that big aerobic base. That is really the goal of these first 6 weeks of this build. I'm not going to put a ton of pressure on myself. Also, again, I'm kind of like on vacation a little bit here today, so I'm really not trying to push it too hard, and enjoy the rest of my time with my girlfriend and her family. I had way too many carbs at dinner. That was my plan, but I'm like feeling so full right now. Carved up for tomorrow morning, making sure I'm ready to go. I got all the full kit laid out over here. Everything's ready to go. Running at a new spot, that's always fun, and I'm honestly just excited to get out there tomorrow morning. Yeah, good morning everyone. We're posted up out here. It's 5:30 out here by this trail. You can't really see it behind me, but there is a pretty extensive network of trails back here. It's pretty much pitch black, it seems like, around this whole entire place. So I'm not totally sold on that, but we're gonna get it in anyway, because I don't really have any other option. And that's kind of the thing with marathon prep, is it doesn't really care like what your situation is, what you're doing. It really just cares about whether you get the miles in or not. So I have no excuse this morning. I got up early so I can try and do this, and then I can spend the rest of the day with my girlfriend and her family. But lately I have been doing all my long runs in it's really humid out here. But I've been doing all my long runs in the Glycerin Max, and I'm not gonna lie, I love this shoe for how it's been able to protect my legs. And again, we're going big mileage, so we got to go big stack, big max cushion, gang. I'm not gonna lie, when I get to the end of these 19, 18, even 17 mile long runs I've been doing, even when I do the first 15 miles of it, relatively easy effort, my legs just don't have pickup in them in those last 2 to 3 miles. It's just kind of what I've experienced so far. I don't know if that's because of fatigue, overall just fatigue, because I've been pushing mileage like I have been, and I get to the end of the week and my legs are kind of dead. I've really tried, especially my last run, I really tried to pick up those last 2 miles, and dude, I just felt like I was dragging a couple of bricks along with my feet. After you run in them for like 2 hours plus, you don't want to run fast in them. They don't make you want to run fast, at least. So that's just been my experience so far. But I still like running in them. Honestly, one of my favorite shoes I think I've ever tried on and worn. And they're going to be a staple in my rotation for the foreseeable future. But yeah, enough talking this morning. I am going to loop back around to my car every 4 miles or so, because that's kind of been my fueling strategy during these past few long runs. Pretty cool little trail out here this morning. Sun is just starting to come up. I'm like 6.5 miles down. And it's pretty pleasant out here this morning, I'm not gonna lie. Hope you guys can, dude, he's not scared one bit. See ya. Anyways, dude, it is pleasant this morning, but the humidity out here, I mean, I'm used to it, but the air is thicker than soup out here. That actually didn't feel too bad. First 12 were really steady, really smooth. But I ran that last like little 5 mile out and back, because I did sort of like 7 miles and came back to the car. 5 miles, came back to the car. So at 12 miles, I did my last little out and back. And I ran that last out and back probably on the most exposed part of this trail. And as you can see, the sun has came up at this point, and it got hot quick. The whole morning I was running in the shade where the sun wasn't even up yet, and when that sun starts beating on you at like 7:30, 8 a.m., it's a whole different story. It goes from like 80 in the shade to like 95 probably in the sun, or at least that's what it feels like when you're 14, 15 miles into a long run. So my heart rate and my effort level definitely got up there, because I was cutting down the pace a little bit too. I think if you look at the splits, I was going like sub 8 minute miles there at the end, because it was feeling good aerobically and my body was feeling good, but then I just started to get hot. 17.25, 808 average pace. So that is a weekly mileage PR right there. I can't really say I've been in a better place 12 weeks out from a marathon now, in my 3rd marathon prep, and it really gives me a lot of confidence, to be honest. Definitely feeling very confident in my fitness right now. I think that's the sweet spot for me when it comes to those easy, steady long runs, kind of that like 2 hour 20, 2 hour 30 range, and I feel like it has really helped me, again, to build my aerobic base, because that has been the point of doing all these easy long runs, is just to build up that base. And I'm definitely feeling more and more fit the more that I do them, and it builds up my confidence for sure. And being able to consistently build on these long runs and just do them week in and week out, that's really the goal, is just to be able to hit these like 17, 18, 19, 20 mile long runs on a consistent basis. This is a good one. This is a good brick laid today, man. I really feel good about this. Out here in Kissimmee, Florida, baby. I shot out to this trail too. I was kind of hating on it this morning. I was a little bit sketched out, but this is probably one of my favorite trails I've ever done a long run on. So I think this is a good place to end off the video. I'm sorry to the person who I commented back to, who I said my next video would be on my marathon and my running progression so far. That's actually going to be my next video. Not to spoil it for y'all, but I am going to obviously continue to vlog the remainder of my training weeks. I got 12 weeks left, so hopefully I'm going to pump out some more videos. If you guys like longer style videos, let me know, I guess, because I see a lot of people who post and document their training on YouTube, and some people post like hour-long videos of their entire week. I think that's a little bit too long for me. I don't have that much B-roll, but I also see a lot of people say on other people's videos how they're like, oh, a lot of these running people just like to, you know, take a bunch of fancy shots and, you know, take 1 minute segments and then pouring up their coffee in the morning. So like, which is it? I don't know what people like. Even still, regardless, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, but I just would like to see people's opinion on that, because I think people who follow me would probably be in more of the category of they like the cinematic sort of vlog style instead of like just getting straight to it, straight to the training, because, you know, there's more to it than just, you know, oh, I did one run this day, oh, I did this run this day. You know, it's kind of all about like the in-between and how you fill in the gaps and how those little things, those little tiny little things matter, because they all really matter, especially when it comes to marathon training. Those little things, don't overlook them. But this has been my first vlog, first true training vlog in the 250 series. We're 12 weeks from Philly. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.